Ready?
Yeah.
Right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Beau and Silent Clay podcast. How's Clayton doing? What's up?
It's a hot day.
It's fucking stupid hot out, dude.
Yeah, they said 106 today. Or it's going to feel like 106.
I don't get that, seeing how it's like almost September.
I know, they gave us a little taste of that fall weather and then fucking right back to the heat.
The biggest bullshit is living in Indiana.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's 70 last week. It's beautiful. And then it goes from 70 to 100. And then you get stupid sick and everybody's getting colds and they're like, oh, the flu's going around. It's not the fucking flu. It's the weather.
Right.
It's the erratic weather pattern because your body doesn't ever have time to adjust to the weather. So, here we're stuck in the middle of it all. I think next week it's supposed to be like 70.
Good.
Yeah.
We'll be into September and fall starting.
It's just one of the many letdowns of Indiana.
Dude, I was just looking at your screen there and my wife and kids, and this morning I turned on the TV and it opened to the BET and Martin was on. And that's the same chick that played Gina. Martin was quality television back
Martin
there.
was great. Did you ever notice how big Martin Lawrence's cheeks got over the years?
Oh, I know. They're like fat as fuck now.
It's almost like when he did that Big Mama's House, they didn't take the face off.
I wonder if he had some sort of plastic surgery in some way and it just didn't turn out well.
Like
Because when you look at that show, he had no signs of that kind of thing.
Like a Botox accident.
Yeah.
It almost looked like he got allergic to something. He looks like Will Smith in Hitch whenever he gets stung. Like,
yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It looks rough, man. Like I said, what else we got on the old agenda today here? You want to start off with something serious? You want to start off with something funny?
Funny.
I got shit all day long. Okay, here is, if you had to be gay with one celebrity, who would it be?
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
That's from like day one when I was a kid.
That's such a curveball.
Why?
I've never heard you talk about that before.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
My sisters always fucking say that, like, he's my man crush and shit since I was a kid. He's like, I loved even Stevens. Like, even the troubles he got into in his adult life, like, is relatable. And then when I watched Honey Boy, did you ever watch Honey Boy?
Yes, that's a very good movie.
Dude, that fucking movie fucked me up. So, yeah, I love that guy very
So you were,
much.
like, closing your eyes and jerking off to Honey Boy?
No, I've never jerked off to the man.
What do you mean by fucked you up?
His relationship with his father.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's different. That just went from something funny to deep.
Sorry.
Now I feel bad for even asking about it. Damn it. Haley put me on the spot the other day, my oldest daughter, and she says, Dad, who would your celebrity crush be?
Male.
Male? Yeah.
Yeah,
male.
well, you didn't say. I was gonna say, the motherfucker. Don't even do that to me.
Swap him to a female.
I know, like you dick. You made.
Yeah, I should. That would have been awesome. Damn it, you would have fell right into it. No, as far as male, mine's pretty easy. It's probably John Stamos.
Now, even or
John
are we
Stamos.
talking 90s John Stamos?
Now, like John Stamos in an interview seems like a really cool guy, and I think if he gave me enough drinks and really wanted a piece enough, I think I'd probably put out.
Huh?
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the John Stamos 80s movies? Oh fuck, was it Starfighter or Never Too Young to Die? I believe is the name of the movie.
I don't think so.
And it was like a young James Bond thing. You've never seen it?
Funny. Does
Dude.
he have the same hair from Full House?
Yeah, I guess so.
The feathery top and the whole deal.
Yeah, I mean he's got that poof or whatever, but he's young as fuck. He's like, there's this whole like Stargrove. That's his character name, Stargrove. Gene Simmons plays the villain who is like a transvestite. Dude, it's one of the greatest fucking movies in the world.
Is it really?
I fucking love that movie.
I would have to watch it just because you said that.
Yeah. I'll post the trailer here later on.
See it,
yeah.
I've never even watched it.
Oh my god, it's fantastic.
That reminds me of one of the old movies that nobody ever fucking hears about. Maximum Overdrive.
I just watched that recently.
Young Emilio Estevez,
That movie.
very very attractive individual too.
And what? There's a couple things about that movie. That's the first Stephen King or only directorial credit for Stephen King. He's openly admitted that he was very, very heavily using cocaine while the filming of that movie. Like, so it's very fucked up, the stories behind that movie, but yes.
That would explain the whole ACDC soundtrack. Like
That's
if
wild,
I was
though, ain't
jacked
it?
up on coke, my whole soundtrack for a movie would be ACDC
I,
also.
I, I think that I also, in that period of time, would pick ACDC. I
I'm
think that's
sorry,
the best part of that movie.
but if you don't like ACDC, you need to get the fuck out of America.
Well, we could, I mean,
There's better bands, don't get me wrong, but I'm saying they're a cornerstone band.
okay, like they could have been like, yeah, ACDC's a pretty powerful band, but they could have been so much more if Bon Scott. Brian Johnson came in and he could mimic, but that's all he brought to that band. He brought no extra. Their songs got cheesy as fuck after that.
I will agree with you on that. I will say that their songs got cheesier than fuck. I think Brian Johnson has a whole different kind of voice than fucking Bon Scott has.
No, the whole thing about bringing him in was how similar he was to Bon Scott.
Has a very, and I will say that's about as close to Bon Scott you're going to get. I heard a band here nowadays that just, I can't even remember what they're called, but the lead singer sounded a lot like Bon Scott. Bon Scott has this Golem type of Lord of the Rings voice too, where he doesn't have to screech, he doesn't have to yell, he doesn't have to do anything, he doesn't have to do that scrape with his voice like Brian Johnson does. He never had to do that. It just come natural up on stage to where Brian Johnson has to get up there and get out like this. You know what I mean?
And yeah, it's all a mimic. It's
Yeah.
not talent. That's not his. I certainly hope that's not his real, what I would presume his real singing voice being. I would hope that he could bring more and that he just does that because it was to mimic.
But they come out with some. It's one of those things too where they come out with some major rock songs too. But it was an Angus Young thing. Angus Young carried that fucking band and still carries that band. If Angus Young passes away, then that band will not carry on. You already know that right off the bat.
Dude, they've been done for a long fucking time. Come on.
Touring and shit. Though.
Yeah, but I mean, as in like.
Dude, we trailed way the fuck off, man. We're on an ACDC run right now, and we were talking about hot dudes, and there's no hot dudes in fucking ACDC.
All right, where were we going?
We were talking about dudes that we would bang, then we got into a John Stamos fucking thing, and then we got into a John Stamos movie, and then into Maximum Overdrive, and then it just unraveled. All right, what was your biggest girl crush growing up?
Female?
Yeah.
Or I mean, like celebrity. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me back it up because it's a lot different. You'll know it from whenever you're like 14 years old and shit. But I'm gonna say, from the minute whenever you realized that you like girls,
and it has to be like a real person, right?
It could be anybody.
I feel like I was highly attractive.
Like your mom's boob or something.
No, I think.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to them.
I feel like I was highly attracted to at a young age the mom in Bobby's World.
Bobby's World?
Yeah, and she, don't you know, like how she would say and talk like, yeah. I loved her, but then I remember in probably second grade, for whatever reason, I had a Kathy Ireland Sports Illustrated poster, and pretty sure that was my awakening.
That's the real deal, though. That's a real smoking hot chick. That's like one of those ones you put up on the wall, like a Farrah Fawcett thing.
And that's what she was for us at that time. Yeah, that's what Kathy Ireland. She was our Farrah Fawcett.
Okay, you want to hear mine?
Let's hear it.
This is whenever I got my first boner. I remember it, plain as day. Paula Abdul.
Yeah, totally. I'll give you that.
Paula Abdul.
Smoking hot.
She came up with that song, Straight Up, Now Tell Me, Do You Really Want to Love Me? Like
I still enjoy that song.
It brings back so many good memories. And then whenever she did that song with the cartoon cat too.
You know, and that's what I was just thinking. Was that video or not?
I'm not.
Video. Okay.
See, and I forget how that whole song goes, but
I remember that video
but
absolutely.
that put two things that I love more than anything together: cartoons and fucking Paula Abdul.
Fair.
Yeah, and I was like, wow, this is awesome. And I remember being a giant Janet Jackson fan too.
Mm,
I love Janet Jackson.
I remember. Do you remember when Janet Jackson and Michael Jackson released that?
Scream.
Was that
Yeah,
music
yeah.
video?
Dude, I
Yes.
was a huge Michael Jackson fan.
I remember like the whole family was waiting for ABC to air that. Like that was a big world event,
It
dude.
was
Like for them
it
to
was
air
huge.
that.
And if you go back and if you listen to it now, what a fucking song. It's still a great
I
song.
can't tell you the last time I listened to that.
There's so much raw emotion in that song too, and it's basically about the paparazzi like fucking with them all the time, and it's a great song and all the shit that they talk. Janet's hot as hell. I get made fun of by Angel and Haley because they say that she looks like Michael and that I have a thing for Michael.
No,
I said, no, Michael, that's not even fair.
I've never once thought that about
But I
the
was a
two.
huge MJ fan, like
Yeah,
giant. Dude, I put on my mom's penny loafers. I'm trying to fucking do the moonwalk and stuff in the living room, and they put out that jam music video with Michael Jordan, and I was a huge Michael Jordan fan too. So you put Michael Jordan in the same fucking mix with Michael Jackson, I was shitting my pants. Like
right.
that blew my mind. I had a big Michael Jackson poster up in my room, in my
I
bedroom.
think you still had that when we started
I
hanging
think we
out.
did,
I
and then
remember that.
Jesse fucking tore it down and cut it in half, and he wrote "fag" on it, and I was like, man. But then it broke. Like one part of me wanted to say, man, those allegations aren't real. Like he wouldn't really do things like that. But like just because I really enjoyed his music doesn't mean that he wasn't weird or he is weird or isn't weird. I don't know anything about the guy, so
Uh, yeah, I don't want to get into all
no, we ain't gonna touch on that one.
that.
But no, dude, that was great. We had some awesome, awesome memories growing up. We were just talking back and forth a little bit before we started recording about whenever we had my big eighth grade brawl party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got in so much trouble for that. I go ahead and start from the beginning on this one. Went to Cedar Point that day, eighth grade field trip. Had a great time. Me and Josh and basically me and Josh, the only people that we hung out with in our grade. Yeah, I went to Cedar Point, then came home, and then we got my buddy's aunt to buy us a couple cases of beer and a bottle of Jack, and then we went and decked out my mom and dad's white shed and pimped that baby out. Had lights all around and stereo and music surround sound and all kinds of stuff. My mom, she was at a funeral in Hagerstown, and my dad was on a poker room, and so we went ahead and decided to have the biggest party ever. We invited the girls and invited. I remember you were there.
I don't remember girls though.
We had a couple girls show up. I remember I was dating Brittany at that time, and Brittany showed up with Ashley Flickinger.
I remember being, because I was the youngest person there. I remember being like feeling nervous because like big names like, you know, I don't, we don't know names, but some of the
There
kids
was a lot
I
of
thought
popular people from
some
my grade
cool kids,
that were
yeah.
showing up. You know,
And
and
I remember being nervous as fuck to go. Because I was in seventh grade and they were all eighth graders.
yeah, that was one of those situations where it's like, this is my friend Clayton. Everybody be nice to him.
Yeah.
He's an underclassman. And no, that's whenever me and you started becoming really good friends.
Yeah.
Eighth grade, seventh grade.
Well, we started smoking cigarettes on my 12th
They were
birthday.
cigars.
Yeah, those
It was a
some
fucking
cherry
cherry
tipped.
cigar out
Yeah.
in the middle of your field.
And then we were like back in my bedroom looking at porno mags, and my mom busted it and was like, "You smell like cigarette smoke."
Dude, you had the best fucking porno mags too. I'll tell you what, they were awesome.
Uncle Terry, thank you.
Love Uncle Terry. Thank you, Uncle
I
Terry.
stole one like every time I went to his house.
Dude, it was so great. And I'd always make you, when you'd come over, I'd make you bring something. And I remember that night when I had that party, I got so fucking drunk early, early. And my dad come home and he was, my dad maybe, he was out on a poker run out on the Harley. So he definitely had himself a few drinks before he came home. And then Jesse comes home with his friend and with a couple of his friends, and all hell's breaking loose. We're just having a big party, and then mom finally comes home, and mom is fucking pissed. I remember walking inside and being 14 years old with a cigarette and a fucking beer in my hand and trying to talk to my mom. My mom says, "Get the fuck out of my house!" And I was like, "Oh my god!" Walked outside and Dad said, "Who drank my Jack?" Because I guess we finished off our Jack, so we started drinking Dad's Jack. And he says, "First one to throw up is the one to drink my Jack." And then lo and behold, what do when I come home or get outside and fucking throw up
Ugh.
all over the place, dude? Dad still says to this day that that's the most throw up he's ever seen in his entire life.
I can't remember who it was, but I remember being up in that very small area in the
Yeah,
top
we
of
were
the
looking for
shed,
the shed.
and someone brought a bunch of ditch weed, and we were trying to smoke it. It
I
was
remember
fucking
it did taste like
terrible.
shit. That might have been the reason that I threw up.
Possibly.
Yeah, I remember Dad was trying to figure out where all the beers were coming from, and people were stuffing them in their socks and in their pants pockets and running around the yard from it. But I remember going to bed after that, and I woke up halfway through the night, and there was somebody in my room watching porn, and
Brett.
I couldn't imagine who it was. I just seen the reflection off of his glasses of, of, of some pipe being laid. It was awful. He had the biggest smile on his face though too. It was great. I got up the next day and I guess all hell broke loose while I went to sleep. One of Jesse's friends one of Jesse's friends ended up throwing one of my mom's blankets that she had from her mom, and her mom passed away. Ended up throwing one of her blankets in the fire and burning it. And I guess this same guy, all my buddies and stuff at night. I don't know if you're awake for this. All my buddies at night filled his pant legs and filled his sleeves up with shaving cream.
Oh, I was there.
And
I know who you're
it
talking about.
tickled his nose, and he sat up top of the haymound. It's a really short ceiling haymound.
And
Hit his
fell back,
hit
didn't
his
he?
head on the haymound and fell down the hole, and
Yeah,
then landed in the grass catcher down on the bottom and fucking burped real loud.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was in bed, but I heard about it the next day. Like I said, he was so ashamed, and he felt terrible for burning the blanket. He was pissed drunk, you know.
Right.
But shit happens, I guess. But I got grounded for a very long time after that. Very long time. You had a couple ragers at your house.
Yeah, I had that week-long party when
Yeah.
I was in ninth grade. We had the video recorder, and it just everything was filmed, and then the evidence wasn't disposed of, and it was found. That was pretty bad.
Did you have to watch it with your mom?
No, honestly, I forgot all about it until like a month ago. I was sitting up at the lake with my sister, and she brought it up. And I was like, I didn't know you do that. So it's like, I'm sitting there here talking about it, thinking, what do you know? Because I can remember specific things that were done that weekend, and I don't know if they were recorded or not.
Do you remember one of our buddy, our best buddy growing up? We're not gonna mention any names right now because we're not gonna incriminate anybody. But do you remember whenever he got a blowjob by two girls?
Out at my house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and his girlfriend found out about it.
One was my cousin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I remember.
Do you remember what he said after it happened?
No, I don't remember that.
He said he was sleeping. He had no idea it was.
Oh my god, I do remember that. Fucking, he was a trip,
I
dude.
still blow him shit to this day about that. I was like, dude, there's no way in holy hell you're sleeping when two girls are blowing at the same time.
And you know what? I could just see his reaction, like, "Come on, buddy," or what's something.
Come on, dog. Bullshit me. I know better. I don't need this excuse. If that's what really happened and you just got a BJ by two chicks, high five, man.
Right.
It sucks that you cheated on your girlfriend because she's super duper cool, but you know what, man? Don't have no shame in your game.
Yeah. We could say that, like, oh, it's not like they're gonna end up together.
No, and that's one of those. What's really funny is the person that she did end up with was somebody that she couldn't stand all through school.
But he was an issue too for our buddy.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember that.
It still grinds his fucking gears.
Oh, I bet.
It
I
does.
bet.
It does. I could tell because even when we were growing up, even before that ever happened, even before those two ever started talking, there was always a problem
Yeah.
between the two of them.
Small town living.
Oh yeah, that's how things go, man. Whenever you're young, you do stupid things, stupid things, and you know it's always supposed to be, bros before hoes, but bitches be trifling sometimes.
No shit.
It is what it is, and then you get caught up in it, and then next thing you know, you're too far in, and then
You know what though? I think about though, like you always hear that bros before hoes, but it's not always like that.
no,
There's a lot of
there's a lot of
backstabbing,
terms to it.
and you know you got to chalk it up, especially at a time your kids. You know, like it's different if you're our age and doing that kind of shit to your buddies. But at that age, I'm not saying it's excusable, but then it's like, man, you're still new to all kinds of shit.
You're attention starved is what you are.
Yeah,
like
and
you're getting to be 14, 15, 16, and you're starting to get attention from the opposite sex that you've never had before, and sometimes it's hard for people to handle that, especially if they've never been attracted their whole life, or if they've never had any success with women or with men, and then all of a sudden it comes on like a flood. And
right,
it's kind of like being 18 years old and going to play professional basketball or something. Like you just got $1 million right now. Like, what are you going to do with it?
you're in a whole new league, man.
You are, and it sucks, and it's hard for people to handle that sometimes.
Right.
Even especially whenever you're, like you said, 14, 15 years old, you're going to make a lot of stupid mistakes.
Well, you said that, not me. But yeah,
What?
nothing. 14 or 15 years old.
Oh yeah, yeah. But I'm saying, like, whenever you're young and dumb,
Right.
When you're older and stuff, you're going to make mistakes also too. But like you said, you shouldn't be like fucking around with your friends' old ladies and stuff.
No, I mean, ever. And at our age, I would be like, dude, we're adults now. It's not cool.
Yeah.
But like, even then, though, as a kid, you're allowed to be angry. I don't know. Everybody does shit.
It's stupid. It's one of those things too, where like a lot of people, you can see the writing on the wall growing up. You could see people whenever we were in school that were obviously going to get married and have kids and right out of high school and stuff like that. And then other people you see them together, like, you know,
I don't mean to cut you off, but I think about the hot girl in my grade, right? And she was the hot girl from like sixth grade. But then I remember being like a freshman, sophomore, and being like, man, I think this is where she's peaking. And god damn it, that is where she peaked because she has not done well. So,
isn't that crazy? Like that's one of those things too, where I also believe I think that runs me into another thing that I want to talk about, another topic I want to bring up. I hate it whenever people get together in life, like say like an attractive guy gets with an attractive woman, and the other one just lets himself go to complete shit.
I think though it's not so much that they give up. I do think that the whole idea of comfort weight. I think me and Kate both have kind of experienced that in the past 9 months. That like
And it's a real thing because me and Angel have experienced that, dude. I took the fucking batteries out of the scale for like 4 months because I needed new batteries. I finally got batteries for this bitch. I was like 13 pounds heavier than I'm supposed to be. And I could kind of see it in the mail, or not in the mail, but in the mirror. But wow.
yeah,
Like,
that's where and like we've done better about like late night snacking and stuff
that's a
like
big
that.
one. That's a
Yeah,
big one.
we've done really well about that. But she's someone that likes her beers, and
Oh, she's a beer drinker.
she is a beer drinker.
Oh, that's
Not
different though.
not heavily or
Does
anything.
she chew?
Two?
Yeah, like dips.
No.
Okay, well,
Why the fuck?
I'm just seeing how far we're going with this here.
No, she drinks those. She likes to do those. I think they're called IPAs, where they're like different
Oh,
kinds.
so she's a experienced beer drinker.
Yes, and yeah.
So she could drink one and tell how many hops is in it right off the bat. And if does she swish it around in her mouth and stuff too?
No, but she definitely knows a lot more about alcohol than I do.
Beer connoisseur.
Yeah.
See, I never liked beer. The only reason I ever drank beer was to get drunk, and I've never liked beer. Now, I'll drink a good fucking mixer all the time because it's delicious. It tastes like fruit punch.
I like some beers, like I like Corona a lot.
I've never even had a Corona, I don't think.
Damn, dude, with a lime in there,
I've
it's
never had
actually
one.
quite delicious. Yeah.
See, they always look appealing, like when Snoop Dogg's drinking them with like fucking Tony Romo on the beach or some shit,
Absolutely.
Like I'm always like, yeah, Snoop has one. I mean, Snoop doesn't look like he looks like he likes weed, you know. And I mean,
He
he likes
looks
to
like he likes
no,
weed.
I know he likes weed. Is what I
Okay.
meant to say. The dude likes weed, and he looks like he likes a Corona. Is what I meant to say.
Yeah,
But
they're great pairings. Me and my dad used to sit around drinking Corona, smoking bowls, and playing Tiger Woods golf. That's some of my fondest memories with my father.
Tiger Woods golf is one of the most funnest fucking games you can ever
Oh
play in your life.
three was top Tiger
Whenever you
Woods.
had your putting help.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
You were unstoppable.
yeah, yeah. That was great. We need your putting help, and you can like zero it in and like slow it down and roll that bitch in there.
Right.
You know what my favorite times to do whenever I'd play dad? Because I play with my old man too. He loved that shit. My favorite things that I love to do when I'd play dad, before he'd come over to my house, I would dress my character up to make it look exactly like him.
Oh yeah, I remember you doing that.
Yes. It was great. He'd come over and start playing or whatever and it'd look exactly like him. And dad would say, "Is that me?" And I'd say, "Yeah, that's you." He goes, "That's pretty close." Dude, we had the best times ever fucking playing games with dad. Dad, my favorite game to ever play with dad too was Medal of Honor.
See, my dad didn't play video games, but he fucking loved pinball or golf.
Oh, he loved it. Okay.
Yeah, so
See, and dad, I would play Medal of Honor with dad, and then he'd always be bitching halfway through the thing. He'd be, "Screen looker! Screen looker!
I hated that shit
Screen
too.
looker!"
Or like I remember having a meltdown at my buddy's house when Killer Instinct came out, and like
The movie?
no,
Or the game?
the Super Nintendo game Killer Instinct, and they would fucking trap you in the corner. Oh my God, I get so fucking pissed when they just continues to like do a sweep kick or a high kick or like an
Jesse
uppercut.
would pull that shit all the time on Mortal Kombat, dude.
Exactly, that's
Sweep kick,
bullshit.
sweep kick, sweep kick, sweep kick. No, and my favorite, you know what dad would do all the time, Medal of Honor? He'd fucking run up to the corner and he would just hide.
Oh, would he?
Yeah, he would just hide in the corner. And then he'd sit up there and he'd try to pick you off. So I would just go from building to building on a random, like just running them down.
Yeah, but I mean, like, do you ever go play laser tag?
No.
There's a place in
You talked about doing it one time.
yeah, and everybody bailed on me. Like, I invited like 10 different people, and one by one, everybody backed down. I was like, yeah.
You know, that's your fault.
How is it my fault?
You need to be cooler. And then 10 pin, maybe one of those 10 wouldn't have bailed on you.
You're one of those 10, cocksucker, and you're doing a goddamn podcast with me.
I know, I'm giving you another shot.
I'm blurring your face out, bitch.
Dude, I forget what was going on. Dude, that was a fucked up time for me, too.
Well, I only allow it to pass because literally everybody that I invited has children in their own lives and work full jobs.
Now I feel obligated to go play laser tag with you.
Good, you should.
I almost feel like I have to now.
I would love for me, you, and Josh to go.
That would be a really good time.
I think so. Grab some beers and go fucking fuck up
like
some
right
10-year-olds.
I feel like I just started sex with you and you weren't even close to a climax and I'm just done.
And you finished and I'm just sitting there.
Yeah, you're just hanging out here. And you're like, man, maybe one day I'll get my turn. One day you will get your turn, Clayton, and we will be playing laser tag, not butt tag. Sum it all up for today, man. We touched on a lot of different topics. We touched on some movies. We touched on some growing up times. Clayton, how he has a low-key crush on me and I wouldn't go out with him that time.
What?
Huh? You don't remember talking about that? We're going to move on here. We got to get going. We're already over our time. And thank you for coming to listen. Check you later. See you guys.